I don't even know why I'm writing this. Maybe to keep myself from going insane. Or maybe just so that one person out there can see it as a warning. My name is Sam. I'm 34. I live in a small American town where everyone knows everyone, and rumors travel faster than rain. I've been married for 7 years. My husband, Todd. Well, I thought he was the real deal. He wasn't loud, or charming, or overly social, but he was dependable, calm, steady. He didn't cheat, or so I thought. Didn't drink, didn't gamble, didn't run from responsibility. He did the laundry himself, washed dishes, put the kids to bed, cooked dinner, brought me coffee in the mornings, and he was a great dad to our twins, Ava and Liam. He wasn't the most affectionate. He could go whole evenings in silence, lost in his own thoughts. But I always chalked it up to exhaustion, being introverted. We're not all built the same. I accepted that ... and then, a normal evening. He was away on a business trip. I was having dinner with the kids. Ava suddenly asked, "Mom, when are we going back to the nice lady who buys us ice cream?" I frowned. "What lady?" "The one Daddy took us to. She turned on cartoons and gave us waffle ice cream. She's funny." My smile froze. I asked again, and again. They confidently described the room with green pillows, the funny cat with glasses, and how she called them sweet buns. I sat there, listening, and felt a slow, cold dread settle over me. I didn't want to believe it. I trusted him, blindly, but something inside me cracked. That night, I opened his laptop. I knew the passwords. He never hid them. I found work emails, contracts, schedules, and one private conversation. Rachel. Generic name, generic profile picture. But the conversation? Anything but. 5 years worth of messages. Thousands of words. Love letters. Intimate photos. Poems. Screenshots of shared purchases. Future plans. A second life. In some messages, he called her my real family. I felt physically sick. I actually vomited. The next day, I moved like a zombie. I just started packing his things. His favorite shirts. All his books. His precious sunglasses collection. I packed everything perfectly, neatly, and carried it outside to the lawn. His whole life. Now outside our door. Even the blanket he used to tuck the kids in with. Then I sat down and printed. Every message. Every photo. Every I miss you. Every someday we'll have a baby together. Pages and pages. When he came back 3 days later and saw his belongings on the lawn, and me on the second floor throwing printed pages into the air, he just stood there. He didn't defend himself. He didn't walk closer. He looked like he wanted to say something, but didn't, and he left. I didn't scream. I had no energy left. An hour later, he was gone. I haven't seen him since. I cried every night. I looked at our children and wondered, why did he choose another family when he already had a real one? Then, a few days later, I got a message. Not from him, from her, Rachel. "Sam, please hear me out. It's not what you think." I didn't reply. I couldn't, but now I can't get that message out of my head. Update 1. It's been 4 days since I got her message. "Sam, please hear me out. It's not what you think." I didn't respond right away. I kept rereading that one sentence like my sanity depended on it. We like to tell ourselves that it's all behind us. But that's a lie. Because if you're still staring at the empty side of the bed, asking yourself why, then nothing is behind you. I ended up calling her. Her voice was calm, almost tired. "Do you want to talk?" she asked. We agreed to meet at a cafe on the edge of town. Neutral ground, in public. I arrived first. She showed up about 5 minutes later. Wore plain jeans and a sweater. No makeup. She didn't look like the other woman. If anything, she looked like she hadn't slept in days either. We sat. Silence. A few minutes. Then she said, "You think I destroyed your family, but I need to show you something." She pulled out a folder from her bag. Papers, photos, old printouts. One photo showed Todd, much younger, with a woman. Not me, not Rachel. This was his first wife, she said. Her name was Anna. She died 8 years ago. I didn't say a word. We met in a grief support group, she continued. People who lost someone close. He was different back then. Shut off. I was lost too. He said he couldn't let go of the past. That he lived a double life. And I didn't even know he was remarried. Not at first. He only admitted it after 6 months. He told me he was unhappy. That he only stayed for the kids. That you were an obligation, not love. She started crying. I knew it was wrong, but he kept saying he was going to leave. Always any day now. But years passed, and when I began to question him, he started bringing the kids to see me. He told me you were sick, that the kids needed a break from a home full of rules and control. I listened, and with every word, a deeper cold began to settle inside me. I'm not justifying anything, Sam. I was stupid. Stupid and in love. I didn't know he was lying to both of us. He told me you were cheating, that you wanted a divorce, that you barely live together anymore. She placed one last document on the table, a medical report, a psychiatric consultation in Todd's name, paranoid tendencies, anxiety, avoids conflict by forming destructive parallel relationships. He had been in therapy, secretly, 2 years before the affair. He wasn't chasing passion, she whispered. He was running from real life, and I'm sorry I believed the lies he fed us both. We sat in silence. I walked out of that cafe feeling hollow. Not angry, not even at her, not at him, just empty realization. I had lived with a man I never truly knew. I came home. The kids were watching cartoons. I hugged them automatically, kissed their little heads. And in that moment, I made a decision. I won't let his past destroy our future. Update 2. It's been 3 weeks since my conversation with Rachel. Life has slowly begun to feel normal again, like I was floating back to the surface instead of drowning. I could wake up without a racing heart, look at my kids and feel like we had a real chance, a real family, without lies, without fear, just the three of us. I didn't tell them anything. Sometimes Liam would ask, "When's Daddy coming back?" I'd smile the best I could. Soon, but not like before. Then, one evening, after the kids had gone to bed, I heard the doorbell. It was him, Todd, standing on the doorstep with a bouquet of white lilac, my favorite he remembered, wearing the shirt I'd once given him for our anniversary, and his eyes, not lowered, but steady. "You don't have to slam the door. I came to talk." I said nothing. I simply stepped back into the hallway. He came in, sat down on the same couch where he used to read bedtime stories to our kids, and began. "I ruined everything. That's obvious now. I destroyed what we built for years. I'm not here to beg for forgiveness. You don't owe me that. But I want to at least try to start again." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box, a flash drive. "It's all on here. A video recorded by me. Everything I couldn't say out loud. Everything you deserve to know. Why I got involved with Rachel. What was going on in my head. What I felt for you. And what I feel now. I didn't take it. You want me to trust you again?" I asked quietly. "Yes," he whispered. "I do. I want to rebuild. I'm ready to prove it. Everything." I nodded, walked closer, took the flowers, held them in silence. "You want the truth," I said, looking straight at him. "You think I missed you. That I thought about us. That I rewatched old photos." He froze. "I did think, but not about us. About myself. About the woman I was. Blind, naive, fighting for someone who had already left long ago. And then I realized, if you leave all the way." I walked to the door and opened it. "You can keep your flash drive. I'm no longer the woman who waits. I'm the woman who moves forward." He stood there, fists clenched, breathing heavy, but said nothing, and he left. Slowly, no drama, no last words. I closed the door, and for the first time in a long, long time, I didn't cry. Final update. Almost a year has passed. Sometimes it feels like that whole story happened to someone else, like it wasn't even my life. But then the kids still ask why Daddy lives in a different house now, and why Mommy became so strong. The truth is, I had to become strong, not by choice, but out of necessity. When Todd left, I was alone. 2 kids, a mortgage, shattered trust, constant anxiety. Government aid barely covered anything. I didn't want to move back in with my parents. We have a complicated history. So I did the one thing I'd been putting off for years. I got a job. Nothing glamorous, just an admin position at a private clinic. Long shifts, 12 hours a day. But I managed because I had no one else to count on. And during all that, Todd kept calling. At first, "Let's try again." Then, "I miss you." And eventually, you turned the kids against me. You made me into the bad guy. I didn't respond. I learned silence. I learned not to defend myself. And you know who was the only one who messaged me without blaming me? Rachel. Yes, that Rachel. We're not friends in the usual sense. But sometimes, late at night, she texts me, "Is it hard to breathe for you tonight too?" And I reply, "Yeah. But now it's not from pain, it's from freedom. We don't talk about him. We don't need to. There's plenty else to talk about. Work, kids, fears, empty apartments, breakdowns. Sometimes support comes from the most unexpected places. And the divorce. It became official 2 weeks ago. No drama, no court battles, no shouting, just signatures. A folder of papers. He didn't even show up. Sent his lawyer. I sat in front of the judge and I could still hear Todd's voice in my head. We could start over. And I signed. Now I live alone with the kids. I work. I try not to overthink. For the first time in years, the silence in my apartment doesn't scare me. And the warmth here, it's real. And no one has to ask for it. On weekends, the kids and I bake cookies. Ourselves. No dad's special recipe. We're not a perfect family, but we're real. And here's what I still can't fully answer. Did I do the right thing by not giving him a second chance? By not leaving the door open, despite the love, the kids, the history? Sometimes I want to believe I did, but sometimes the doubt comes back. Would you have forgiven him?